Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third edition of the East Meets West podcast featuring your boy Conrado.
The
Let him know. Let him
Conrado
know.
Pascual.
The Conrado and your boy Michael, aka MJ Tolliver, opinionated
The
MJ.
opinionated MJ.
The opinionated MJ, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. How you feeling today, bro?
It's pretty good. Pretty good. We always find ourselves doing these recordings towards the end of the week. So I don't know. I guess, right? A little anticipation of the weekend,
Yeah.
But, I think we wanted to record last Sunday, but, a
Yeah.
belated happy Mother's Day to
Oh yeah.
all our,
Happy Mother's Day.
female mother listeners out there.
Yeah.
But on top of it being, in addition to it being Mother's Day, it was also the NBA draft lottery.
Right.
Right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And
Uh-oh.
so, yes, if for those watching on the YouTube, Michael and I are both kind of wearing jerseys of our respective teams because technically, I mean, the Pistons were very much a factor in the NBA draft lottery as well. They finished with the worst record this past season. They finished with the worst record in the league. But, I think a lot of our listeners are kind of familiar with the NBA draft lottery format now. But basically, unlike the NFL, if you have the worst record, you get the number one pick. You have the second worst record, you get this, right? That's not
Right.
how the NBA works, right? There is a lottery. So, in short, the Pistons, they were tied with, I believe, Charlotte and San Antonio. Was it San Antonio?
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
They were tied at 3. It's flattened odds, basically, right? Where you
Yeah.
have the same odds to get the number one pick as those other two teams, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And my Warriors, technically, we were involved in the lottery. We had a 0.7% chance, right, at the number one pick, but more so a 3.4% chance of it being in the top 4. Because, in short, for fans, I think a lot of Warrior fans know, but the Warriors, we owe Portland. It's now in Portland's hands. We owed Portland a top 4 protected pick. So the only way the Warriors would have kept the pick this season is if the pick landed in the top 4. So it did not. So it's in Portland's hands. So, but hey, right? I'm here with Michael. We're being festive, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and, Michael.
This jersey is huge. It's when I was much bigger.
Look at that. See?
It's all
We've
over
got
the place.
We've got spelt opinion in MJ now. No, but as luck would have it,
Right.
the Pistons
Uh-oh.
did not end up with the number one overall pick. In fact, 2 teams jumped in to the top 4. Atlanta was one of them. I can't remember who the other one was. But regardless, the Pistons ended up with the 5th overall pick in this year's draft. That is after having the 5th overall pick in last year's draft, where they selected EyeSARR Thompson.
Well,
Right?
yeah.
So all things considered. But basically, Michael, before we had our respective Mother's Day celebrations, I asked you the morning of the draft lottery, do you really care if the Pistons get the number 1 overall pick this year? Do you remember what your answer was?
Yes, I do.
Can you share with our listeners what that was?
Hell no. I didn't care whatsoever because we've been getting picks, and when we've had, man, just our history of supposed to be drafting Devin Booker, supposed to be or have the opportunity to draft Tyrese Halliburton, Donovan Mitchell. Well, we wouldn't have gotten DeMarcus Cousins a long time ago, but I did want DeMarcus Cousins over Drummond, but they took him just before us. Who else did we miss out on or pass up on, I should say, because
passing up is different than missing out.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
passed up.
when I said last when I saw your reaction when I said, reminding our audience that last year the Pistons dropped to the 5th overall pick. I saw, you know, I
Yeah,
saw some exasperation on your face. And
yeah,
why? Because you missed out on Wembanyama, right?
yeah,
Am I reading that correctly?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
So you asked me last week on episode 2 what the top of the draft was kind of like. Now, and obviously, you're going off of my opinion, but
right,
there's definitely no Wembanyama.
right,
There is no prospect close to Zion.
right,
There is, right? You can make an argument the year, was it 2 years ago? Up until draft day, it was like a toss up of who's going to go number 1, Paolo, Chet, or Jabari Smith Jr. But
right,
all throughout the draft process, everyone knew those were the top 3 picks,
right,
right? There is no consensus, number 1. There's a consensus in the sense that this is who everyone thinks will go, but it's not like a can't miss prospect,
right,
right? That's EyeSARR, right? The center, right? That
yeah.
plays in the Australian NBL. Okay. And all I'm saying
Wow.
is, did you actually wait a minute? Did you know that? Did you before I just said that? You see that? Like,
No.
right. And that, no, see, this is an example right here. Like, casual fans all of last year, they can't tell you where Wembanyama plays. They don't, right? But they know who he is.
Yeah,
Casual fans knew who Zion was. Casual
yeah,
fans know who LeBron was. There
yeah,
is no can't miss potentially generational prospect in this draft. That's my point. And that's why I asked you that question. So now you've had a couple days to process it. You've talked to your fans or your friends that are Pistons fans. I like to consider myself like you've adopted me as a Pistons fan. So
indeed, indeed,
yeah.
indeed,
So
certainly.
now that you've had like a couple days to think about it, now how do you feel that you did not get the number 1 overall pick?
You want my raw, true, honest feelings,
Or
or
do you
you?
care? Do you care any more or less now? 5 days later.
I don't care no more or less because it wouldn't have mattered. Like I don't know who's coming out. That's worth a damn. So much. Okay, you want my just full truth now? You just want me to spill it out now, or you
Well,
want me
actually, wait
to?
a minute. You
Okay,
don't know. This is
okay,
good, actually. I like this. I like this. I like this because I like to fans who are not draft junkies. They can only go off of
yeah,
what self-proclaimed draft analysts tell them.
right,
Right. So, okay, I'm going to give you 2 prospects. Just, combine measurements, a little synopsis. You
okay,
tell me which one you think sounds more appealing. What if I told you there's a guy who's 6'11 and a half barefoot,
okay,
okay? 7'1", roughly, 7'1" in shoes,
okay,
7'6" wingspan, 235, okay?
okay,
Shoots, basically, let's be real, okay? He's a big man, right?
right,
60% from the field,
okay,
right? Very good finishing at the rim. Uh,
okay,
Tops the charts on all athletic measurements, right? Like lane agility, like standing. Okay, his standing reach is 9'3" and a half. Okay,
okay,
and he's athletic. He's athletic. Then we have another prospect. He is six 11 without shoes.
okay,
Okay. Actually, no, 6'11 and 3/4. So he's
okay,
like a shade over 7'1" in shoes,
okay,
right? Unlike the other guy with a 7'6" wingspan, he has 7'4". The other guy
okay,
was 235. This guy's 224,
okay,
right? The other guy had a standing reach, I said, of what, 9'3" and a half, I think. 9'3" and a half. This guy has a standing reach of 9'2". The other
hmm.
guy, 60% field goal percentage. This guy, under 50, despite being, right?
Okay. I know the differences already. Keep going.
Okay. This guy puts up big numbers because he can play 30 minutes a game. This other guy plays 17. And these are not, let's just say they're obviously not, these are numbers from not NBA.
Right.
Just in general, if you didn't know anything, who sounds like the better, like who seems like the more appealing prospect?
Nobody. One just sounds like they're at the rim. The other sounds like they are away from it. Like he's
Okay.
more of a
Okay.
shooting big to not have a higher percentage than that. That means he's stretching the floor a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. This is still this is good. This is good. But I mean, one has somewhat better athletic performances and measurements, right? That would be first one.
The first
I
one.
mean,
Yeah.
not okay. Which one sounds more appealing?
The first one.
Okay. But in general, your statement's right. Just one is closer to the rim, one seems
Yeah.
probably more perimeter oriented.
Yeah.
Okay. The second guy,
It's
the
the better
second
probably.
prospect is EyeSARR.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Those are his numbers.
Okay.
The first guy is James Wiseman. You see what I'm saying? Now,
Failure.
this is no,
what's
this is
what's
not to
Sar
like
from three? What's he from three? Does he shoot threes?
27%.
Oh, pfft.
See, okay,
All right.
this is the thing. No. Okay. And this is right. This is where like our younger listeners are going to say that we're being very narrow-minded and we're not looking at the bigger picture. No. Like the thing is EyeSARR is the epitome of a project player,
Hmm.
right? And every time you read about his offense, it's always about blah, 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 blah. And he has offensive upside. He has shooting potential.
Right.
But he's not coming in, right? As like this
Yeah.
polished shooter. That's not to say he can't, right? But you're telling me then that if his biggest swing factor, right, what makes him a unique prospect is his shooting, and there
Yeah.
is a big question mark on it, that's
Yeah.
problematic.
Yeah.
Because then basically you're telling me that everything else is less impressive than James Wiseman. And that's not to disparage James Wiseman. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Because we're talking about both of them as prospects.
Right.
Prospects, right?
And
This to
specifically for
me
the
does not
Pistons.
sound EyeSARR does not seem like a can't miss prospect to me.
Right.
So I'm with you. I mean, I also had some choice words on Mother's Day, right? You said, Conrad, hell no, I don't give a F about this. And what was mine? I gave you the Jordan meme. I gave you the Jordan meme. F them kids. F them
Yeah.
kids. This is not this is not right. So I
Yeah.
mean, no, I'm glad that this was a thought exercise I had been thinking about, and it's true. Like, is SAR a better prospect than James Wiseman? It's easy to say yes because you know where James Wiseman is right now in his development. That's the thing, right?
Right.
This
But
guy,
do we? Do we know? Because what if
yeah,
this next year is the breakout year?
right,
The
right.
beginning of it. Yeah.
But you see that, like, then you are drafting a guy, again, admittedly a prospect, but then the return on investment you don't see for another 4 to 5 years,
Yeah.
right? Like that's my
It's
point,
not
right?
worth
Like
it.
that,
Yeah.
it's like we're talking about the Pistons. We're not talking about the Hawks or the Rockets or the Spurs, the teams picking ahead of you. We're talking about the Pistons. And in my opinion, as an adopted Pistons fan, I don't believe that helps the team.
Right.
That does not,
It
right? Like
doesn't.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get like right prospects, what you can be. But it's like, dude, like you told me Sunday morning, dude, we got plenty of good prospects, right? Like,
Yeah.
so
Already on the team. You know what I mean? So
with that said, what are you thinking?
you ready for the raw, unfiltered?
I'm ready. I'm looking forward to
Okay.
it.
Okay. I swing for the fences. It's gonna
Okay.
be the number one draft pick, 2, 3, 4, with the number 5 draft pick, and I know people know where I'm about to go. The Pistons select Bronny James out of USC. Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm doing it. Cause okay, LeBron, yo, next move. Let's call his bluff. You know what I mean? Oh, I want to play with my son. Okay, we got money. We got money. You know what I'm saying? So we can pay you max money. Come, come on, Brian. Let's see how much you really mean that. If you'll come next door and come play for the Pistons, the same team you was making commercials about, or including us anyway. Mike had to go through the Pistons when he was in the pool and all of that, doing that. Yeah, come on, come to Detroit. Come just right down the street from the house. Just let's see how much we can call your bluff. If not, it's not like we didn't have, even though he was my guy, Killian Hayes. It's not like we didn't have, and he was the seventh pick. What's the difference? You know what I mean? Like having Killian Hayes who could defend, who could facilitate, but couldn't score worth a damn until the season before this season came. Like that's when he started to kind of get loose scoring. Um, we had Isaiah Livers. He didn't pan out, but he played defense a little bit. But coming back from those injuries, like this season, he wasn't looking good, so we ended up letting him go. Um, we don't know what we want to do with Jaden Ivey. Because we haven't figured out
Hmm.
the offense around him yet. You know what I mean? Not saying Bronny comes in and plugs in his place. Just saying we have a lot of outside of Cade Cunningham, and I'll even say Fontecchio is a good piece. You know what I mean? Like he's
Right.
set. You know what you're gonna get, or you know what you can get from him. And I love EyeSARR. His defense and athleticism is enough for me for now. Um, I
Did you
like
say
Jay.
Isaiah Stewart?
No, I didn't say Stewart yet, but
Oh, okay, okay. No, no, no. And if you don't, I'm just wondering. Okay, cool. Because I didn't know
I
if I
mean,
missed it or not. Sorry.
no, I like him. I like Isaiah Stewart though.
Yeah.
Because they're starting to push him kind of what I said that they should push him towards. Since he was an undersized center, 6'8", I was
Yeah.
saying they should push him towards the three since he's a tough defender. He can defend. I'm not sure how well he'll continue to get better at moving his feet. But he's still tough and he gives us a certain type of toughness when he's in the game and rebounds. You know what I mean? And he has been stretching the floor. He made some decent threes. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's better than it was in year one, year two. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, and I like Jalen Duren, but he's shown some inconsistencies. I don't know if he's gonna wake up into the Dwight Howard s kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because he's physically imposing like Dwight was and whatnot. It's just a matter of having that know-how, and it's not like Dwight even had it. He wasn't Shaq. He wasn't and then had a move. You know what I mean? Dwight was just, oh, you threw me the ball, dunk. I'm just jumping
Yeah,
higher
yeah.
than all of y'all. So
He
I
was
don't. We basically, I'm
so
just breaking down the prospectiveness that's still within these players. You know what I mean? And then Jaden Ivey, we had him rookie year. K went down, so he got to get loose. Now he's got to figure out his place, not only behind K, but fitting in with everybody else. Sort of with like Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah, Boston, all them. Shout out to the WNBA fans, but sort of like what's going on with them right now. Like you got a bunch
yeah.
of players trying to, they just coming together. They played alone. They played with things being their own way, whether it was college or in the league. And you got to try to put it together. But getting back to the Pistons, they're still kind of in the prospective phase. So yes, Bronny James, come on. Yep. LeBron, come on,
Okay.
because that instantly transforms this team. You know what I mean?
It
Like
does.
Cade, I want Cade off the ball anyway, but he has the capability of being on ball and totally relieving LeBron from ball handling duties if he wanted to. And he can get his own shot. He's great at the mid range. He's great at pull ups. He's great at spot ups. You know what I mean? Like he has things that I can call out in his game that I can't call out from any other Piston. Cade does
Right.
this. So I don't care what pick it was. What hell, if it was the first pick, I might have almost drafted Bronny just because. And I know that's kind of my thing. Like I just want to test LeBron. Like, do we want to play with his son? Okay, we'll draft him. Let's see what happens. It's with it being no clear prospect in this draft. You know what I mean? Like
I mean,
nobody is truly neck is above the water in this draft. You know what I mean? At least not right now.
as I will. Okay, your idea, in my opinion, is fucking crazy, but I love it. I love it. But
Yeah.
if I were to operate i- as if that is somewhat realistic,
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to go is there was a report I saw this morning that I think Kristen Peak of Yahoo had written that Utah
Yeah.
Utah has the 32nd overall pick, and they could actually potentially pick Bronny that high.
Right.
Because right now, most mocks have him as like a late second rounder. So even that high. So I'm trying to see, it seems like you guys currently do not have, you sent that out in some other trades. I think that was the Fontecchio trade.
Was a second rounder in this draft?
Well, no. The 32nd used to be Detroit's, is what it's saying here. And I think
Hmm.
that one went, yeah. You do have 153. You pick after the Warriors, actually, which is where I do think the range, right? Like, but the
Yeah.
point is, first of all, everything you just said there, whether that is a route they would go, the main point of what you're trying to accomplish, though, at least if I were to somewhat give someone an interpretation to say, no, Michael makes some sense here. The
Yeah.
whole point is to just use that pick to bring in an established veteran that can
Veteran.
still be a game-changing presence. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And that's going back to the point. And yeah, am I trying to uh throw shade at EyeSARR? No, I think there needs to be an understanding of where he is and why I don't think Piston fans should be tripping about it. Okay?
Yeah.
If you believe, and not to just like on our own podcast be referencing other people, but Ryan Russillo on his podcast said he talked to like some GMs, and he said if you just were to trade the number one overall pick just straight up for a veteran player, what's the highest caliber
Who?
of veteran player they could get?
Right.
And according to Russillo, that those GMs said Tobias Harris. Well, F that, right? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, right? Even if you had the number one overall pick, you're still going to have to combine it with some of your young guys like Duran or EyeSARR or Ivy and other picks in order to bring
Mm.
that game-changing player. That's why I'm saying, like,
Well,
dude,
unless it was us, because we got the money to just absorb.
no, I'm saying, like, you have the money. You could get that game changer. Like, you just buy that guy outright. Like Paul
Yeah.
George opts out. He's a free agent. That's what I'm saying. Like going
Yeah.
back to your idea last year or last week.
Yeah.
But I guess like this does not seem like the year or having the number one pick is like this golden ticket. And again, that's not to say EyeSARR won't be a good player. Maybe he'll be a great player, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be a great player anytime soon. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, those can't miss even like, yeah, like, you know,
I
and
don't
like
want Tobias
I
Harris
like, and
back.
we've traded some ideas, throughout the week. I've been telling you, like at 5, like to me, if you're just going to make the selection, if Troy Weaver is going to make the selection outright,
Yeah.
at 5, to me, there's just as good prospects that could help the team at 5 as there would have been at 1. Because I mean, frankly, I don't know, man. In my opinion, I don't think EyeSARR. People can make fun of me for this. I don't think he's a better prospect than Jalen
Right.
Duren. And I only say Jalen Duren because they're
No.
the same position, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, but for example, right? Just things that we've consumed now now you're right. I guess all of this is to say is as we're trying to look to the offseason, right? The draft
Yeah.
and then free agency, right? The number 5, the 5th overall pick, is not going to change the fortunes of the
Of the
franchise.
Pistons. It's
No,
not.
no. But
No.
like that, the same can go, in my
If
opinion, the same could go for guys picking 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can add somebody who could help, who could be part of the rebuilding process, but it's not going to. Which is why people are asking me. Now I'll talk about, right, as the Warriors.
Hmm.
Like if people didn't understand, no, they're playing like, oh, Conrad, like break out, cross your fingers, just get the number 1 overall pick. I'm like, no, dude, get that thing away from me. I
Yeah.
don't want it because to explain myself, the Warriors, if the pick didn't convey this year,
Yeah.
it convey right. It's going to continue carrying over until it conveys, which then locks up the ability to trade future picks. It's the same thing, right? As
Yeah.
what I was saying, right? For the Pistons, it's the same thing for the Warriors. If we want that game-changing guy to add to the Warriors roster,
Yeah.
right? the number 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever we could have gotten, right? The top 4 pick alone isn't going to get us that guy, right? We just have to use that, right? So what I'm trying to say is,
who can you get for $10 million, basically?
yeah, right now. But now that it's conveyed, now we can actually trade future picks. We can combine future picks, right? Like from multiple years. We wouldn't have been able to do that until the pick conveys. So it's like, dude, So yeah, I mean, I'm totally okay with it. Frankly, I'm more excited by like the Warriors having the 52nd overall pick, right, than a top 4 pick, because I feel like 52nd, right, like a lot of our teams do. You get a 4-year player that can kind of step in and kind of contribute, from day one. So
and Warriors have had good luck with second round picks as well too. They've had better results from some of their more recent second round picks. Wasn't Draymond? No, he was late first.
Yes, 35th overall.
He was 35th. Okay, yeah. So so Draymond, you know what I mean?
Trace Jackson Davis last year, 57th overall.
CJD. Yeah, so
CJD.
I mean, because when you're picking that late, if you're taking it serious, you're doing your homework. You know what I mean? Like, where was Jordan Poole taken?
28.
28. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it that I can think of. That was taken second round since the championship era.
Well, there were guys
15.
But they did help, but they didn't have staying presence in the league after they left the Warriors, right? Like there was Patrick McCaw.
Oh yeah, that's right.
From UNLV, and then Jordan Bell from Oregon.
Oh yeah,
and the thing is,
love
like,
Jordan Bell at first,
right? But like, yeah, and people will kind of make fun of them because like, obviously they're not in the NBA right now, but like they were. To be fair to Bob Myers, they were picked with the intention that they could come in, play immediately with a defined role, and they did that. And they actually were. They legitimately contributed to the championship team. So it's like, dude.
What about Eric? What was Eric at? Eric Pascal. Yeah.
30. I want to say 38. 30, something like that. Like, or maybe 41. It was like somewhere around there. I remember. Yeah. I think we had to, it was like 41, maybe something like that, somewhere there. Yeah. But anyway, I mean,
So just looking at it that way, why not? If you're either of our teams, just go get Bronny. Because if this draft is not that top, go ahead.
Oh no,
you might have
a
producer that you're about to speak of, somebody that can just come in instantly produce.
If you believe, this is a different way to interpret a draft pick. If you believe the draft pick is the key to acquiring LeBron, then I understand that. I just don't think you need the 5th overall pick for that. I don't think teams are salivating that much at the chance to sign LeBron that they're going to need to use a pick that high. I don't know. Because I feel like you guys have the 53rd overall pick. The Warriors have the 52nd
after
overall pick.
After your pick.
No, that is the range where I think fine. It's a little bit more
reasonable.
You feel more comfortable. Yeah, more reasonable to pick him at that selection. But I mean, going through all like these different, trade machine ideas, right? Like, what gives you okay, right? I think you sent it to me. Dejounte Murray and the 1st overall pick for EyeSARR, Jaden Ivey, and the 5th overall pick. Like,
and no,
I'm
not even doing that.
Like, yeah, like
that's too much.
No.
Yeah, that's just too much. I mean, it kind of is sending both sides of what he is capable of, the defense and the offense, but I don't know that I could get rid of EyeSARR because EyeSARR is already like getting reps guarding the other team's best players. You know what I
Now, okay,
mean?
fine.
Dejounte isn't guarding LeBron. He's not guarding Kevin Durant. He's not doing that. That's not possible for him. You know, but All-Star is.
If I
And
took out, for example, see another thought exercise. If I took out EyeSARR, it was Jaden Ivey 5
I mean,
or
then
Dejounte Murray. Would you do it? Forget the pick. Jaden Ivey, the fifth
I love
overall
Jaden
pick
Ivey. I
for
love
Dejounte
Jaden
Murray.
Ivey. All of his ties to the city makes me not want to move him. But if I had to remove that from my brain, if the Men in Black came and said, "Here, close, open your eyes," and just flash me and said, you rep the Detroit Pistons. You have to make a trade featuring Jaden Ivey, and uh, you're gonna want Dejounte Murray." Then I'd go ahead and I guess I'd take it because he's more of a defined player and he has the capability of dropping 40. You know what I mean? Dropping 30, dropping 25. You know what I mean? Just contributing in a more consistent way than the Jaden Ivey we just seen. Not to say that he's not going to turn into that next season because he's had time with Cade, but the Dejounte can come in and he's probably dropping 23 a game at least. You know what I mean? If not 25, the way that scoring is set up right now. But you know, because who knows what his averages are now? Like I could look it up while we talk, but
I think he's averaging like 20 points, right? 20 points.
at least he should be. And it's just like with him being a more like you know what I mean? We know what he is. It's just he
Established,
is exactly. He's
established
an established
two-way
player.
guard, wing guard, more wing guard, but
Yeah, 22.5. So
right.
if I'm getting his 22.5 on a consistent basis, as opposed to Ivy dropping 30 today, but then 11 tomorrow, and then
Wow, you're being
17 the
generous.
next,
You're being
huh?
generous with the 11. I
Yeah,
feel
I'm
like
about to go
I've
lower
seen too.
too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, I've seen box scores as 30 today, like
Six
5
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah. So I mean, if I know I'm getting more of a consistent product out of that, then I guess. But does he move the needle enough for us to be a playoff team? Because if not, then not a play-in. Well, yeah, a play-in team. Does he move the needle enough for us to be a play-in team?
Well, think about it this way: does the 5th overall pick alone move the needle to make you a playoff team? In
No,
all likelihood, from what okay. So
no.
then, really, I mean, it's not irrelevant, but in terms of players, its impact, right,
Right.
of the players that are going to and fro. To me,
Yeah.
then it's really because if you're saying whoever you get at 5 is not really going to be a factor on any playoff team. Like, for example, like just
Yeah.
quick tangent. Anthony
Okay.
Black was fantastic this year. I mean, like
Right.
he had a pretty good year, right?
Right. Yeah.
He was not a factor at all in Orlando's playoff run this year. That's not
Right.
to say he can't. It's just right the expectation.
Now.
So right. So to me, then it's again a future a project
Hmm.
plus Jaden Ivey for Dejounte Murray. Like that is how I'm interpreting the trade. So then the
Yeah.
question is which side gets you a more impactful player now? To me, I would.
What is his shooting splits? Because that everything factors in if we get DeJounte Murray. If can he stretch the floor like consistent enough to
So
give
actually,
Cade?
he still has a reputation of being an inconsistent 3-point shooter, and yet his
Yeah.
percentages are pretty solid, right? Like
You got it pulled up right now?
I can real quick.
I mean I could look it up too. Because
No.
it's right here, almost right here in my face. I should have just went straight to basketball reference. But yeah, oh damn, it said it right there too, 3.7. Okay.
45.9% from the field, 36.3%
That's not bad.
on 7.1 attempts per game.
That's
So
not bad.
that's volume. That's
Yeah,
volume,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So anyway, because then here, alternatively, going back to how do we assess this draft and
Mm.
why, right? Would you then? So you're saying, okay, you would consider maybe lean towards right if that was your
Yeah,
trade, you just take out the pick, the first one. So it's just Jaden Ivey in the 5 for Dejounte Murray? You're saying you'd probably pull the trigger.
Throw a couple seconds in there for us, if you
Okay.
can.
I
But
feel like
yeah,
they're
I
gonna
mean,
want the
yeah, for the
seconds,
most
but
part,
okay. But then
yeah.
now let me flip it. Would you trade Jaden Ivey 5 for the first overall pick?
For what?
So basically, you're trading for EyeSARR. So Jaden Ivey, fifth overall.
No,
See,
I'm
and
not
that's
getting
my
up
point.
Ivy for that.
That's my point. That's my point. Because I see all these fan bases like, oh, we dropped, like we dropped,
Yeah,
like, well, not just the Pistons, right? But like, you see the Hornets fans. Oh my God, we dropped. We didn't get the number 1, and we dropped the 5. We dropped the 6.
right,
Blah 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 blah. Like,
right.
dude, what? This is not the '84 draft. This is not the '96
Oh
draft.
shit,
You know what I'm
with
saying?
Jordans.
And you know
Yeah,
why I'm wearing this too, right?
why?
This is Chris Mullen.
Wait, no, 84 wasn't Jordan.
1980. No, 84 was
I'm
Jordan.
sorry. Oh, okay.
1985 was the first year of the lottery, right? That was the Patrick Ewing draft.
Right.
That was the famous, frozen
The
envelope
fr
conspiracy,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And if you're too young to know what that is, just go on Wikipedia, right? But seriously, because who had the worst overall record that season? It was the Warriors. They had the worst record, but there were no lottery odds. There was a freaking bowl full of envelopes,
right.
and the Warriors ended up getting the 7th overall pick.
Oh wow.
But
Nah, that'd
the
piss me
7th
off.
overall pick ended up being Chris Mullen,
Oh, so yeah,
right?
everything good.
That's
Yeah.
right. It's not to just say everything's luck and everything. I mean, no, sure, there's
Run TMC.
some luck in anything, exactly, right?
Right.
But I mean, like, in that year, that was the year you wanted the number 1 overall pick. Back then,
Yeah.
right, prior to 85, that is how the draft worked. You had the worst record, you get the number 1 overall pick.
Right.
Everybody wanted Patrick Ewing. Everybody, right?
Yeah.
There is no Patrick Ewing in this current draft. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I mean,
People
I don't think
people
Piston
want
fans.
the thrill of the win happening to them. You know what I mean? Like they want to experience it because when have the Warriors had the number 1 pick in the last, like, I guess we'll say 25 to 27 years to
Right.
just to kind of grab a good chunk of the younger
See,
NBA fans.
and that is actually, that's a great question. I love,
Yeah,
again, the parallels between our fan bases. You say,
yeah.
when's the last time the Warriors had the number 1 overall pick? Give me a second
Yeah.
here.
You might as well just look straight for that. You ain't even got to say
No,
20.
that's not necessarily okay. See, we didn't have the number 1 overall pick in 1993. We traded up from 5 to 1, right? We traded up, right,
Crazy.
for Chris
Okay.
Webber. For Chris
Okay.
Webber,
But it's
right?
no Chris Webber in this draft.
There is
But
no
that's
Chris Webber.
crazy how this is going
Ah,
full circle from the Pistons having the 5 to the Warriors having the 5, trading up for the 1. That's interesting.
exactly. I'm sorry. No, I mixed it up. I'm sorry. The Warriors had the 3rd overall pick,
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm about to say, like,
right?
that's about to be a
Yeah,
full circle moment.
yeah. Because we used that pick to, yeah, we traded up for Chris Webber, and in
Mhm.
turn, at number 3, Orlando
It's still a connection because
selected.
Chris from here.
Exactly,
It's just crazy.
exactly,
It's crazy how we connected around here. Detroit, Golden State.
exactly. No, but then
Yeah.
at 3, Orlando picked Penny Hardaway.
Okay.
See, like,
Yeah.
when you're that deep and you have the opportunity to do stuff like that, I
Yeah.
mean, it makes sense. But I mean, there's not, like, I don't I can't I'm not going to tell fans how they should feel, but
Right.
I'm going to express, like, there are times to, like, like, there's something about, like, I get it,
It's
fans, fanaticism, but fanaticism sometimes
fanatics.
becomes, yeah, there's fanaticism, but there's also fatalism. And I feel like, right, these reactions are like, oh,
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
could totally understand if you missed out on LeBron or you missed out on Wembenyama,
Right.
right?
Man,
Again,
that's why I
not
didn't care
trying,
this year because we
yeah,
missed on Wemby.
right? Like, did you really give a crap when you missed out on Kenyon Martin as the number 1 overall pick?
No,
Right? Exactly.
yeah. I was a
No, I'm
little
not.
mad about
Again,
Brandon
I want to make,
Miller last year, though. I
and
wanted
I want to make
Brandon
it
Miller
clear. I want to
last
make
year.
clear. Kenyon Martin had a fantastic career,
Oh yeah,
right?
he
But
was
like,
good.
very good, very
Yeah,
good. But it's just like,
but he's not the
right?
talent that you're mentioning, like LeBron,
Exactly.
Wemby, like a
Right.
generational, like even Zion. You know what I mean? People wanted
Right.
Zion on that level. Like New York was like, oh, when they didn't get the number 1 pick because Zion was
Right.
coming out. So
And again, I want to make it clear. I'm not saying EyeSARR won't be a good NBA player. I'm not gonna like say he's gonna be a bust or anything like that.
right, he
It's
might be the
just,
next Jokic. Because what was Jokic?
yeah.
What?
But see, like someone said to me, like, "Oh, Conrad, I mean, like Giannis was not impressive, right? In the Greek league, blah blah blah." Yeah, but see, like even it's still not a fair comparison in the sense that like Giannis was taken like what 13th, 14th overall.
Yeah, I want to say
There's a
13.
difference here, right?
Yeah,
Because like it seems like the idea of the number 1 overall pick is kind of clouding people's judgment of what that pick will
on
actually translate into, you
into
know?
yeah. Hmm.
Because we're not collecting picks. These picks are supposed to become players,
Right,
right?
and then the players
So
are supposed to like develop and show you what they can be.
yeah,
Basically, like it's never been based on because like even Steph wasn't a number 1 pick. You know what I mean? And he still got 4 rings, and that's matching LeBron. That's still more than others. I don't want to mention again, like I did on Twitter. I don't feel like the attacks, but I mean, Giannis, he's got a ring. He wasn't number 1. Uh, and what was Jokic?
41.
You know what I mean? And then he had to play next to Yusuf Nurkic, and they just had to figure out who they wanted to keep. And they were like, "All right, go to Portland." And and then they let Jokic kind of flex. He got Mike Malone. Mike Malone already had experience with DeMarcus Cousins, so it just
Yeah.
worked out. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of times that sometimes that's what it takes too. Like, can that player that's drafted get the coach that's going to unlock the most out of him? Because let's say Mike Malone never coached Jokic. What does Jokic become this version of Jokic, or is that like a little bit of a product of Mike Malone's experience coaching DeMarcus Cousins? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we don't know because I see I'm in his he's way more craftier than Cousins, but Cousins was still getting it done. You know what I mean? Like he was
Oh
putting
yeah.
up 50s and
Dude,
but it
prior
was
to that
still
Achilles
sort of
injury.
similar. Pardon?
Oh no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying prior to that Achilles injury, I do believe I was telling people like Cuz is the
The best
best
center.
big man in the world. And I mean, and obviously it was early Jokic career. But at that
Yeah.
time, I think he still, right, was still significantly better than Jokic. Like damn.
It's
So
just hard to explain it because it was just weird how he would get a lot of his shots made outside of just bullying a little bit, but when they had him covered and he was still just he was doing like Jokic minus the length and just the way that it looks. You know what I mean? Like the
yeah.
execution of it. Like it just was, oh, he's oh DeMarcus Cousins. Meanwhile, Jokic is left hook or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it just looks prettier. But DeMarcus was about the same. He was making about the same amount of threes in a game. He was minus the passing so much,
So
but
for our listeners on Spotify, basically audio only, Michael just had
yeah.
a demonstration of a number of hook shots,
Yes, that
and
Jokic makes.
floaters. Okay, so
They are carnival shots,
you know,
like circus shots, straight out the circus. Especially when he's playing against Anthony Davis, it's like, "AD, I get to eat," and then he just throws up stuff behind his back and it goes in.
there's no Anthony Davis in this draft,
There's no Anthony
right?
Davis in this draft, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Remember, and
that
like
was good to bring him up. There's no Dwight
again,
Howard in this draft,
right?
like
Because like
Amari.
right, like no, but like Anthony Davis was one. Who
Mhm.
went number two? Michael Kidd Gilchrist, right? And I want to make it clear, I liked Michael like. Right? Like again, we understand why he didn't
Shout out
become
to
a
Mike.
star. But the
Yeah,
point is, right? Like when it's a draft class where it's like, oh my god, right? Like it's not
yeah,
only a potentially generational player, but like the drop off between 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
There's like not even just like a chasm, right? It's like a different universe.
Right.
I don't feel that this year. And again, this is not to knock SAR or any of the other that's the thing. It's just like, yeah, you'll eventually be good players.
Right.
But like I don't see
Yeah.
great. And nobody can. Nobody has a crystal ball. But again, like this just to me, like I am also like again, I'm not Detroit born and raised, but I feel somewhat invested, somewhat emotionally invested at times. Like I want to
Yeah.
see them have success. It's just I don't think, you know, the number one
That's
pick of this draft class, it's not the ticket to an instant transformation,
no,
you know?
no, it's not.
So
That's like another.
yeah,
Well, he might come along in 5 years. You know what I mean? Because just like you saying, the first pick to the second pick from what draft did you say?
that was the 2012 draft.
The
And
2012.
to be
Okay,
fair, there
so
were a lot of really good players from 2012. It's just,
it was.
but what I reference it because it was still considered like that was also the draft class with Damian Lillard, right?
Yeah,
Bradley Beal. It's just everyone felt going into it that like, wow, AD could potentially be. I mean, like technically, well, not technically, he has been, I believe, named to the top 75 players of all time list. I think he
I think
was
so. Yeah, because
right.
everybody
So
was saying why hasn't
right,
Dwight gone up there, but AD
right,
went up
and MKG was the consensus number 2 of that
there.
draft class. It's just everyone acknowledged, whoa, there's like a big drop off from AD to Kid Gilchrist, right?
Yeah,
Like there is
yeah,
nothing like that, nor is there anything close to like an AD, right?
yeah.
Or if you even want
I
to go to like a shittier draft, right? Like
I got a left field take,
And then there was nobody else.
pretty
Right. And
much. Yeah,
again, to be fair, right? There ended up being some really great players from the 2011 draft in no particular order, right? Klay Thompson at 11, Jimmy Butler at 30. But again, I just said 11 and 30. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
right.
Like these are not like you didn't see them as can't miss prospects. That's what I'm saying, right? Like,
Hmm.
yeah,
Especially
there's
not
just
Jimmy. And
yeah.
people didn't like the Jimmy pick
I
when he came
feel
because
like
he only
Detroit,
averaged like 5.
dude, that guy couldn't shoot for shit, man.
Yeah, nothing at all. He's the
Somehow
Jimmy
he
we see now compared to the Jimmy that got drafted
oh
is
my god.
two different they're from two different universes.
I forgot Kawhi. Kawhi was also in that draft.
Yeah, he
Right.
was.
So, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, there's, and again, what you said, like, how much time did it take, you know? And again, you can say, like, hey, the Pistons, no matter what, it's a rebuild, right? But it's like,
Yeah.
dude, like, is this guy going to be the reason we're going to turn it around? Like, I don't know about that,
Okay, so I got to take. I
Please,
got to take
please.
that could potentially bring our Darko Milicic draft full
You know,
circle.
okay, I just want to acknowledge I purposely didn't bring that up.
No, bring it
That's
up
what
so
that's
everybody
what
can
no
be
no no no.
pissed off about it.
Because there's a difference between right. That's why I wanted to say there's a difference between missing out on a
Hmm.
prospect because you didn't get the number 1 pick, as opposed to you just botched the pick,
Yeah.
right? Like, or you
So
passed someone over. So Darko goes into that other category where, like, okay, we just picked the wrong guy, right? And well, we
yeah.
all know who went after him. So
And we all know who went before him. So
yeah,
let's just go ahead and the Pistons are up. We'll be back with the pick. This Brian. Hey, this the Pistons. We about to drive your son. You coming to Detroit? If he said that's his son's getting a guaranteed contract. You know what I mean? Like, can you show us some love and come bring yourself on over here? We got the money. Your son getting the money. We gonna develop him. You here? You can go on and come on in
with,
here and say, "Oh, can I get 2 or 3 players?" Go, yeah, go ahead. Ship them
so
on out of here.
without making any movement in the draft, right?
Yeah,
If I'm understanding this draft order correctly, you have the 5th overall pick and the 53rd overall pick. So you're saying you would pick Bronny at 5 as long as you got a guarantee that LeBron's coming with him? Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
yes,
Uh,
all day.
if you could
LeBron
make that,
paid. That's like getting free LeBron. That's no trade. Unless the Lakers are like, oh, we gotta sign and trade him. But I mean, okay, all right, then I'll be open to like, we gotta trade Ivy, we gotta trade, you know what I mean? But we're keeping Cade Cunningham. If we keep Jalen Duren, LeBron needs big men. He needs big men in order to succeed. He's
He's
succeeded
got
with big
to.
men, whether it's been uh and I mean
I
not the
mean,
greatest big men. Like he's had his number two has been a ball handler. We have Cade. He's had Wade. He's had Kyrie. He's had big men that weren't like the dominant. I gotta have the ball big men and Chris
beef
Anderson,
stew.
Joel Anthony, Tristan Thompson. Uh, who did he win with in Cleveland? Yeah, it was
Giannis
Tristan in
has one.
Cleveland. I mean, but then if we looking at the
Ilgauskas.
Lakers now, yeah, well, yeah, he did win with Ilgauskas, didn't he? Was Ilgauskas
No,
on that
no, they
Miami
went to the
team?
finals. They went to the finals. They went to
Okay,
the
and then
finals. I don't think
Ilgauskas
Ilgauskas won
retired.
it. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm just calling out the ones that wasn't
Yeah.
just the most dominant. You know what I mean? And then with the even with the Lakers, like okay, yeah, y'all had Anthony Davis, but you had JaVale
Mozgov.
McGee, Mozgov. I'm talking about
Yeah.
the winning team. Well, did Mozgov
Yeah.
win? Yeah, he did. Damn.
He did. He
So you
did.
get my point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he played with AD, but they haven't won. I was about to drop the S word. They
I
ain't
just
won
did like
Jack.
5 times tonight, man.
Yeah, they ain't won since Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, y'all got this game, whatever, Western Conference Finals with Denver, but y'all haven't had any success since then. So give LeBron an auxiliary big, give him another ball handler. We got Fontecchio, he can shoot.
Yeah.
Uh, Cade Cunningham is a good spot up shooter, whether people want to realize it or not. Especially if you got LeBron on the floor dragging more people towards him. Cade is that much more open than what he was when he made those spot ups this year. And suddenly we have a product that's going to at least make the play in like the Lakers, but we're in the East, so we'll probably make the playoffs. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I mean, and then what? You have LeBron come in, and then it's like if we have to flip Ivy, we're gonna get some assets for him. We're gonna get something that potentially LeBron wants. I wouldn't give up EyeSARR because if LeBron needs a defender like a Shumpert, like a Dwayne Wade next to him, um, you know what I mean? Like it's clear as day. A Rondo because Rondo could defend. Who else on that Laker team? Danny Green, Kuzma starts showing up. Like we could go get Kuzma ass again if we wanted to. Like, come on, we got LeBron. Just come on home, man. And then all of a sudden we look totally different. You know what I mean? And then what if? What if I mean like who is our backup point now? Oh, and then we still have like Sasser and stuff like that. So, man, I mean LeBron coming over here is instant impact. I want to at least get us off this. We ain't made the playoff. We haven't made noise in the playoff slate. We haven't won a playoff game since Tayshaun. If and I don't even think we won then when we played Cleveland. Did we get swept? I think we did.
I
So we
mean,
haven't won a
but
playoff game. I want to say since like 2008. I
you
don't. I'm not
will
trying to have a 20-year drought.
like you would absolutely. I don't know if I'd say you'd win. You know, that was like the term, right? The saying like you won the postseason or you won
Yeah,
the off season.
off season.
I don't know if you'd win the off season, but you'd
Yeah,
probably win the off season headlines at the
yeah,
very
yeah,
least.
yeah.
Man,
Then suddenly everybody Pistons. All the LeBron stands is coming to the Pistons now. They all buying LeBron Pistons jerseys. Everybody instead of coming from Toronto, only coming from Toronto to see LeBron, they're gonna start coming from Cleveland to see LeBron because they next door. Especially if they stay in Toledo or something, just like an hour away. And man, what? Just like it is for the Toronto fans, the fans that's closest to the bridge right there. The bridge is I could get to Canada in damn 30, 40 minutes if I wanted to. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
people that's right on the edge of Ohio is like, oh, we're going to see LeBron right here. He's been in LA. I don't have to wait once a year no more. I could go see him every other few days if I want to. So
Well,
that would do a lot for the city. That man, I would do that. The Pistons have the fifth pick. We'll be back. LeBron, what's up? And I'll be in somebody's mirror too, like
you know, kids don't do that.
LeBron James. What?
So I've been educated by my nephews and nieces, right? Like
Yeah.
when you make a phone gesture, they don't do this
What
anymore.
they do?
It's this.
Oh nah,
Yeah,
nah,
because
no.
they'll talk into the like, yeah, like it's
Because it's
crazy.
flat now. That's why.
Exactly. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
grew up with the man. My father and stepmother, when they was together, had the
Yeah, with the cord, of course.
what was that, a rotary,
Yeah. Oh
with
yeah.
the dial,
Those
bro. Like, yeah,
those are awesome, dude.
yeah,
I had
I
like
missed
one.
that.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
used to just rotate back real slow, like
So I guess here we are
them the
dating
days, man.
ourselves. We've
I
watched.
mean,
This is just
we
a way of
still
saying
young
we've
though.
watched
We
a lot of
still
basketball.
young.
This
We
is just
just
our
got
way
a
of saying we've watched
mixture.
a lot of
We
basketball.
got a mixture of everything and a lot of exposure to different eras of the game. So people should value us on that aspect.
Yeah. But I get okay. If I okay, I did not expect you to go in this direction. But what I will say is, at the very least, regardless of how feasible, you know, or not, Michael's plan is.
Brian, LeBron, we trying to
The
draw your
big
son.
point
You gonna
here
come to Detroit?
is the 5th overall pick. It's not so much again who you draft with it. It's just how it's used. Because right now it's not a player. It's a
Hmm.
pick. It's an asset. It's a means of another. Just think of it as an open roster spot. Think of it as cap space. It's another means of acquiring talent. And I think even though I don't think there's
Yeah,
any likelihood of that happening, at least
man.
at five, I don't know. But all I'm
Wouldn't
saying
you
is
do it if you were the Detroit Pistons? You call LeBron. Hey, LeBron, you gonna come to Detroit and we draft your son? And he just like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'll run that
I
because
mean,
then we got
if,
somewhere
but
between 60 and 80 million in cap. I forget. We can still trade something to create even more cap because we got enough cap to sign two max deals. So we can
yes,
say
that is
Brian
correct.
max deal, Paul George max deal, Kay Cunningham with y'all, Jalen Durham with y'all, Sasser off the
That would be
bench.
exciting. That
If
would
we
be
got to move
exciting.
Ivy for another shooter, whatever.
That would be without a
I
doubt the
love you
most
though, Ivy. I really do.
fun.
Fontecchio, make threes. Um, and go find us another 3-point shooter. Go try to get like Bogdanovich or something like that. Bring him in here if we can, if he's free. No, I'm
Oh,
serious.
I thought you wanted
I've
Boyan back.
long no, not Bojan, Bogdanovich from Atlanta. Like,
Yeah,
come
yeah, yeah,
on,
yeah.
yeah, or Seth Curry or something like that. Like Seth, come on, with Cade and LeBron and Paul George. Keep EyeSARR, keep Cade, keep Doran, keep
So now,
Sasser, keep Fontecchio. I don't care about. I mean, I would say keep Ivy if it was possible. Maybe financially we still could, but I don't know if the fit would be and if he would accept a 6-man role because that would be exactly what he is at that point. He would be just flat out straight 6-man unless.
so we went from your draft lottery reaction to some fan fiction here.
I mean, you
Hey,
know what KG said.
if this happens, it's documented now that you called it. Okay.
I mean, if I'm Troy Weaver, especially if Tom Gores is talking about, you know your ass is out of here if you mess up one more season, right? I'm gonna
Yeah.
be like, oh, okay, all right. Mm-hmm. And how they got that picture of Joe Dumars on 2 telephones at one
That was
time?
see, you see that? You see that? That just looks
Yeah.
funny now. It made sense back in the early 2000s when he did that. There was no three-way calling yet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on multiple phones. I'm talking to Tom Gores and I'm talking to LeBron. Like, hey, I'm gonna be like, hey, Tom, just hold on, just listen. Hey, LeBron or Rich Paul, where LeBron at? Click him in.
You had
Hey,
to be
LeBron,
hardcore.
if we draft your son, are you going to come to the Detroit Pistons? LeBron, you will be only how far from home, especially on a plane. Um, huh? Oh, you all right? With the 5th pick, the Detroit Pistons select LeBron James Jr. out of USC. What? You know the media gonna go crazy. What? We didn't
That
have
is
him
definitely
projected that high.
that's definitely it.
That's gonna take over the whole night.
If there are any rumors that something like that could happen, that definitely necessitates a live draft reaction.
And then Woj is gonna
Because
be like,
if you
I'm
haven't
getting
noticed,
reports.
audience, we like to take a couple days to think things through before we give a reaction. And as you can see, even giving Michael 5 days
Yeah,
has made him
yeah.
even more. I don't know if I'll say delusional, but let's just say bold, very bold. Okay.
Because I mean, where are we? Unless Ivy it has a 3 next year, unless Cade is a little bit more able to get the offense flowing, unless Duran has stepped up into a more Dwightish kind of, I know what I got to do. I'm going to drop 18 and 10 at least a game average, 18 and 9 average at least. I don't know if Dwight was averaging like 10s the whole way down, but he came in as a rookie dominating. If EyeSARR doesn't take the next step, like if I had the ability to foresee it and it's still not like more than 50% better than it was this season, next season, yeah, I'm doing it all day. Cause what? We gonna have another losing season? We're gonna go on 2 14 game losing streaks instead of the straight 28? Like,
Man, dude.
bring us LeBron James. We going to the playoffs.
Young Dwight was a
Bring
beast, man.
and then that might
Played all
oh
82 games, 32.6 minutes per game, 12
yeah.
points, 10 rebounds, right?
See?
1.7 blocks per game, man. That guy was, man,
And then what was season two?
it's
It was like
unreal.
18 or something like that, if not 21 a
Uh,
game.
15.8 points, 12.5
Oh, okay.
rebounds.
And then
Yeah, it was,
when did it
it was, so
year 3?
by year 4, 20.7 points, 14.2 rebounds, 2.1 blocks per game.
Yeah. And
And
that's
those
probably
first 4 years, he played all 82 games.
good Lord. Okay. Yeah, so
He was
I
an Iron
mean,
Man, man.
I'll go ahead
He
and
was
keep James
incredible.
Wiseman. I'd suddenly have value for James Wiseman. No, I'm dead ass because Duran got hurt a few times, and LeBron needs a
True.
big man next to him. He needs a big man next to him. You put man, what? LeBron James, and then he might potentially lure somebody with him.
I don't know
Isn't
how he got.
Donovan Mitchell a free agent too?
He can. No. He's not. He's not. He
Okay,
will be entering the final year of his current contract, which is why there's a speculation because it sounds like he's not yet willing to sign an extension with Cleveland, and if he doesn't, they may be more motivated to trade him in the
okay.
offseason rather than let his contract expire and they get nothing back in return. So that's
He
where all
doesn't
this.
have an option.
I don't believe so. I don't
Okay,
believe so. I could be wrong, but I don't believe so. I think he is just. It's the final year that he's going to enter the final year of his deal. So that's where all the speculation of, right? Because it's all everyone's trying to trade for him. They're not trying to sign him outright, not yet at least, right? So,
yeah.
but
Okay.
well, you see that? Okay. Well, no. This is not just fun. This illustrates my point. Uh,
This is
well,
how
no.
drunk I am on my idea. Okay.
Okay.
If
Well,
this was alcohol, this is how drunk I am on that idea. And I'm about to drink some of this water. I'm dry.
I think
Go ahead, go
again.
for it.
No, I'm saying right. It just illustrates my point that, well, my original point being that the season wasn't going to be made or broken on a draft pick. Whether it was
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. It wasn't. I understand you'd rather have 1 than 5, but to
Yeah.
me, at least especially this draft class,
Yeah.
it the drop off between 1 and 5 isn't, not steep enough where it's going to change anything. And the value of the number 1 pick, I don't think is going to, it's not
Right.
going to make some kind of seismic shift, for the franchise, a league altering thing,
Yeah.
I don't know,
I
but
mean, if it was
again,
the '03 draft, then we're talking different. As
these
long as the second team
these
took a
types of
Darko,
ideas.
yeah,
Well, okay, yes, again,
and
that's
we
again
could take Chris Bosh for Detroit. You know what I mean? Somebody like that. That would
yeah,
I get what you mean. Like it's not that though.
yeah. So, I mean, I think this offseason, and again, I'm more of the type like I like to enjoy the games. Make no mistake, like I am very cognizant of, I think we all are,
Hmm.
of what's potentially going to happen in the offseason. But there's quality basketball being played, right?
Yeah.
And this draft lottery, nothing happened. And there's nothing in this draft lottery or in this draft class that should be taken away. At least for me, that's going to take my attention away from these playoffs. So, hey, man, like there are exciting times ahead. There are exciting times ahead.
Oh yeah,
And
it is, because you know what's gonna happen, and you know
hey,
what could
man,
happen if LeBron comes. You see that trophy?
I think we're gonna have
Oh yeah.
another. We're gonna
Oh
have
yeah.
another jersey. We're gonna have another jersey hanging behind you, right? If that
Oh
happens.
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm getting both of their jerseys. They come here.
So, well, this was our draft lottery reactions, right? Specifically from a Pistons and a Warrior fan. And actually, to be fair, Michael likes the Warriors too. So I guess we're both Pistons and
Oh yeah.
Warrior fans, you
Yeah.
know. But there
This
you
is the
go.
true version of the East meets West narrative
This
today.
this this is an authentic reaction.
Yeah. This might be strictly for our fan bases.
Yeah.
And for the people that love fun and basketball. They ain't so
Yeah.
serious. Like, oh, the pick, we didn't get one. Don't nobody care about damn one this year.
Trust me. Trust me.
Yeah.
If the number one overall, like I said, if the number one overall pick meant that much, the nature of this episode would have been a lot different. So
Oh yeah. Oh.
yeah. Then we
We'd have
really would
been.
have like that jug would have really been full of like cognac or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd have just slammed the bottle right here.
Yeah. Well, we got some more fun content, some fun episodes coming up. So I hope you all join us again. Michael, why don't you tell them where they can find us?
You can find us on YouTube at East Meets West, a basketball state of being. You can find us on Twitter at EMW_pod. And you can see our names down here. I know.
That's right.
You can find us on Twitter. And yeah, enjoy.
This guy, the master of animations and everything. So
Yeah, I'm already thinking of it in my
there
head
you
too.
go.
I'm about to try to really just shake this up. The Pistons head is gonna be mad at me. Like, no, they already been saying no when I say Bronny. It's like, why not? If
That
LeBron really wants to play with his
that
son,
is the beauty of having our own platform.
yeah,
I
yeah,
told you guys last week we're gonna say a lot of dumb things to make you laugh. So,
yeah, yeah. And this is gonna be a funny one, especially when they see the phone. Like, what is he putting up to his face? A banana? What's wrong with him? Like, no, this is a old school phone. LeBron James, bro, you coming? Yeah, enough of it.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you again very soon. Hope to get out another episode out a little faster this time.
Yeah, like within a few days.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Take care.